Hello everybody, this is Frogman. Welcome back to Factorio Space Age. Last episode we spent a little bit of time doing just the basics of the basics of the basics of trying to get some of the red science done. And I have since completed all of it. Again, it's mostly you just feed things into a machine, you click a little button, and it does the work. However, I did do a little bit of upgrades because of the fact that, it does get a little bit boring running back and forth between where we were and what we had. So I went ahead and crafted a decent amount of power. We now have, what is it, I think 40 steam turbines or steam engines or whatever these things are called. So we're making a small amount of power. I'm going to say small, but it was kind of one of those when you get to, once you start getting a decent amount of iron, you start doing a couple of things. Also do have a few turrets up here. I can't speak today. I apologize. We have a few turrets up there just in case the neighbors decide they want to come say hi to us. And I went down here and started working on the mess that I would normally call a starter base. Since we had access to the electric miner or electric mining drill, I went and made a few to go on each of the ore patches that are in the area and just started tying them in and bringing them in to make us a little bit of resources. So we have again, kind of small amount of steel happening, a small amount of iron happening, and a small amount of copper happening, as well as a very, very small amount of stone brick going on, and a couple other things. So all of that is being brought down into our first little baby bus. And generally, like I said, starter bases for me, I'm just going to throw things down as I need them. I'll try to kind of keep them in a nice little line, but that's what we'll end up doing. We'll just kind of smack them all down until we have the majority of the resources and the science that we need to be able to start building larger structures. So today, what I want to do is I need to get into green research. We need to get into the green so we can start doing things. I want this, I want this, and I want that right off the bat. And I guess depending on how many that actually is, we might go ahead and do that. Now, starting to look at some of these other things. Again, inventory space is always a big deal, and I do love that they've got this back in here. So we need to be able to make this at 30 seconds, this at 15 seconds, which is going to be a while, this at again 30, and that whatever it is at 30. But unfortunately, as you notice, the numbers are starting to be a lot bigger. I believe, I don't know if you can see what they used to be in here, but like almost everything red. Yeah, so like almost everything red, 25, 30, 20, 10, 10, 10, everything red is kind of little teeny tiny small amounts of stuff. When you start getting into the green and red, that's when you start to see the hundreds and the hundreds. And when you get on even in further into the stuff, you start to notice things to get a little bit bigger. So that's why I kind of did a little bit of this stuff here, and that's why we're going to go ahead and rip it out and move it down. So I'm going to take almost all of this and move it down here so that we can kind of keep doing this. This was, again, just as a temporary, and the way that this ends up being, we'll be refactoring at least 3 or 4 more times. Now the goal is I want to build this. This is a whole bunch of smelting, so that should be able to get us through on into certain portions of the later game. It is going to live probably somewhere around over here, and we will discuss it when the time comes. The reason why I want this is because in order to make a reasonable amount of steel until we get until we get some better technology, i.e. the better belts, these steel furnaces, those guys right there, will make our lives a heck of a lot easier, and they will work a lot faster than the stone furnaces will. So I need to rip all this out, and then I need to start over, because our next object of the game is we need to start automating inserters and belts. Yay. Be right back. Alrighty, that should be a decent amount of green circuits. I do realize that you can kind of work this over a little bit to try to put some stuff in here that, I mean, theoretically I can put one right there and right there and right there and make a little bit more. This is enough for right now. I forget, it's going to be like, what is that, 8 per minute or per second or whatever it is. I gotta quit thinking satisfactory. I should not have played that game prior to playing this one, but anyhow, and we could talk about that one eventually too, but I really much rather just play this one for right now. Need to bring all of our tools down. We now have almost everything we need to be able to, I believe we actually have everything we need to be able to craft the next batch of science, which will allow us to progress through and get a couple of more things done. I apologize, like I said, probably the first several of these episodes are just going to be me doing random stuff like this so that we can crank through the fun stuff of getting a lot of this basic stuff done. A lot of the biggest problem that I think a lot of people might have with Factorio is the fact that when you look at it, it's like, oh my god, it's so busy and I got to do all this stuff and, you know, make everything happen. No, you don't. Just smack stuff down, get it working. Make it work for the time being until you have enough resources and or stuff bottled up and stuck up behind in storages to be able to then build your big, massive factory. Plus, later on, we're going to find some stuff that I haven't seen ever. And again, I'm not even to the point where we get to see exactly what the heck's going on. So, finally, next thing I want to do is we need to go ahead and start thinking about building science. Now, I think instead of continuously moving things down, are we going to be able to do the next thing? I think the next step is going to be, let me have some blue. Blue is oil, correct? Yes. So we won't be able to do anything else, so what we'll do here is we'll build as much as we can. I'm going to go ahead and put the science down here, and then we'll kind of start working on building extra stuff as we go. So I'm not planning on building anything massive over here until we have oil ready to go. I don't even know. Do we even have oil visible on the map right now? Good. Wow. Well, that ain't a very big one. There's a lot of them over there, but that ain't a very big one. Okay, but anyhow, let's go ahead and smack this down. We need we're just going to bring down the things that we're going to need in order to be able to do this. So it's going to be that belt, that belt, and that belt. Or I might just bring them all the way down. Alright, I think for now we'll lazily lay these over here. I want something about like so. You can do this multiple ways. I mean, you can feed them in between each other. You can use a bus to do whatever you want to do. I will probably just use a belt at this point because it's faster for the inserter to deal with things. After a while, trying to daisy chain them through with various inserters gets kind of slow because, god dang it, because they can't handle the throughput. So we'll do that and that for now, and then we'll go ahead and build the rest of this. So it's going to get dark before we can get anywhere. Alright. Okay, I think we're going to come up about right here. We're going to say this layer right there is going to be green circuits. So we're going to do green circuits, green science. We're going to do about 4 of those, and then we're going to wait on this to craft. But I'm going to go ahead and say, just getting an idea here. So they're going to be about here. We're going to need to be able to make the 2 things that are required for that. Essentially what I want to do is I'm going to say about right here, I think, is where I want that belt to go that direction. Yeah, that looks good. If need be, we can just move this around. So that was just fine. That should be able to do the thing. If nothing else, we can work it out. All right. So in order to make green science, we need to be able to make the inserters and we need to make belts right off the bat. So I'm going to do something about like this. I think. We're going to kick it out the back. I'm running out of space on my concrete. Go that way with it. Yeah, so you're going to make belts. Actually, no, I don't want the belts to be that one. I want you to be these right there, and you to be the belts. That way we don't have to do too much goofiness with this. That. Maybe I move it over one more. Hang on a minute. Yeah. Okay, I think I like that decently enough. We'll go ahead and turn this one into that particular lane. And then I'm going to go and dump, I think, the iron in next and then the gears. That way I don't have this little funky wonkiness that's going to happen right here. You go like right there. And I'm not worried about the fact we're going to put pipes on it, that it won't matter. I could actually keep that from happening by doing, what is it, this? Hang on, can I do that? If I do, borrow that spot real quick, I can do this, and it will just put the pipes on it. Yeah? Or just put the gears on it. Come on. It's not like I'm really worried about it. We'll use them eventually anyway. So then we do this, and then the iron can jump through this mess to get us a few hoops figured out. You're going to go there. We're going to go up one more because I don't have the room. Again, kind of rusty at this game. It's been a while. There we go. And then you should be able to jump to there, and then this can just come back out in its line there, so I can actually come down one. Not trying to be too, it's not a big deal. I just don't like making a mess all over the place. Plus, everything that's in my inventory, I don't want to have to keep messing around with either. But there we go. Okay, that'll work. I'm happy with that. That'll do the job. So then these should now be able to be powered, run, taken care of. Let's get you guys some power. Where is our power pole? You come over about like maybe there and there, and then we'll have to do another one up there and another one up there. Actually, no, I don't need those up there at all, do we? We should be good there. Yes? Cool. All right, I just need to plug it in. Hey, give me power. There you go. Nice. Make parts. So this. Oh, I love it. Move it over one. And you do this, and then this goes here. We'll put you on that side of the belt, and you can go something kind of like this. Yeah? Nice. I know, terrible engineering. I'll get better as we go along. Cool. Alright, so what we want to do then is I'm going to say whatever we're making on this. So we're making one of those a second. As far as green science is concerned, this is going to take how long to craft? So we'll let that butter up a little bit and probably make about 4 of these. Like so. Yeah? That should work. Again, we just do doot, 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 doot. And starting with this side of the belt, wow, I did that great. You need to go over there. Do something kind of like that. How many power poles have we got left? Few. Good deal. And green science. Which is going to take a minute, but we got it. Good deal. So those will be placed on this side. I'm going to go ahead and take what's left of the red science that we currently have on us, put it in a box, put it on the other side of the belt, and then build that in. There we go. Back to doing science, advanced material processing. Let's go blow out a real quick line of red science, which I think we're probably only going to do about maybe, again, 4 or so of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, just trying to get this stuff done. We're not trying to be fancy. We're not trying to be perfect. I should move those over so that the power's in the right spot. That way I don't have to run any more power poles. Probably still have to. I need to put these guys down here. Thank you. Yep, still have to. Whatever, we'll just do that. Dang it. Give me some of those things. Thank you. Tired of crafting them. And then I should be able to actually use that to my advantage by putting that about right there. And then take the splittery-doo that I don't currently have. Plunk it like right there. There we go. Correct side of the belt, nice. Bring this down, not that we really need it right now, but we're going to be making furnaces fairly shortly. Iron should be through, steel needs to go back through, this needs to go back down, and we should be good to go for that. I just bring this in here again and make a few more of these. Doesn't really matter, I didn't want to make one. Can I have any, do I have any of these? Yes, we do. Boop, 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 and give me those back because I'd much rather use the other ones. And back to making red science. Alright, so now all we gotta do is wait on this to complete, well, not this complete, a few of these little tools to complete, get a couple of these other things done. I know it's kind of one of those, this is kind of the reason why I don't like building on camera, because I have to sit here and think about what I gotta do to put things down. If we have the ability, we're gonna go ahead and, how are we looking? Everything looks a little better there. Go ahead and do 2 more of these. I need to make another one. While we're in the process of doing some of this other stuff, I'm kind of avoiding, automating a couple of things here, mainly because of the fact that it's just, time consuming, and we're on the clock, so we need to get this done. Boy, you go over there, and that should get you going a little bit faster. Just kind of adding a few things in. I want to be able to see a backlog, and I'm eventually going to have at least 8 or 9 of these things run up the side of here, but as long as everything is functional up here, we're good. Because we have the ability now to do all of the automations that I need to do, at least for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and automate belts up to the level that we have, automate inserters up to the levels that we have, and automate the assembling recipe units up to the level that we currently have. So I'm going to let the stuff run, and I'll be right back. As always, the weakness in the design is always the production. We've got the steel furnaces now. They're simple, easy to craft up. Did a couple of those and put them on the iron because we're suffering for iron at this point in time. As always, it's kind of the way it works. But we're about done with what I had planned to get done today. We have our steel furnaces. We now have the upgraded assembler Mark IIs or machine Mark IIs, which means some of this can actually speed up a little bit. I've already gone ahead and thrown a couple of them down here, but fortunately, we don't have enough iron to maintain any of that. Now, I can fix that by just, expanding this upwards just a little bit, and I might go ahead and do that really quickly, but that's going to require me to do a couple of other things. Essentially, now what I want this to do is just ever so slowly craft up a couple of things for us, so fill up our boxes with usable stuff, and then I'm going to go ahead and probably either handcraft a bunch of the furnaces, these furnaces right here, so probably just do that so that we can get some of this stuff going, or whatever, because we're going to go ahead and use the stone furnaces for a while. I have a fair amount of them, and as soon as I can get a couple other things going, I will be ripping all of this out and start building things over here. Now, the biggest problem with what I did is I built all this nice little spotlight right here, and it's likely going to move down here or over there or whatever. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. I'm just kind of playing and having some fun and enjoying the game the way that it was when I was kind of, starting to remember how to play it. So anyhow, we're going to plop a couple of lights down for no reason other than it's dark, so because there's no point in being dark and standing around in the dark in here. And we'll kind of just let it go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut it right here. In between episodes, I likely will push through a few more of the green sciences. There's not a whole lot that's left that I'm really going to be worried about. I'm going to go ahead and queue up those so that we can start making those as well. Those will definitely help us out. And then just, maybe some other stuff, like maybe doing this and that and this, and, just kind of knocking out some more of the things. I'm not going to go into any newer science, and I'm not going to start into anything that has to deal with this. So I think for right now, I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. This should get a little bit better, a little faster here fairly shortly. We should start to be able to have a little bit more fun. And fairly soon, I think, actually, we're going to start seeing some of the bigger changes that, that are going to change because, that they're changing because of the new, this new DLC. So see you guys later.